A 3-hour tour. I just got to get this one down. I'm listening to the Honorable Reverend Phil Valentine. And it just occurred to me, he's talking about, the Biblios, the Bible and all that, and just the semantics of it. It kind of like, they say Jesus and when people get a little bit beyond the full indoctrination zombie state, they start to really look at it. Lucifer and Jesus, the same thing. Jesus is a demonstration more so than an entity. So if you change the J to a G, that's perfection. I'm doing this thing with the letters, with language, to where it's like taking it back to the tribal times where it's symbology in each letter even. So it's perfection is love and spirit, through the spirit and spirituality. So it's the G, J-E-S-U-S, change it to G. G, perfection, in the essence, spirit, the cup of love, and spirit. So that's DNA, but it's like the evolution of the seminal fluid rising to, the process, the 33 degrees, or 33, whatever, carpenter building, going from the devil, hell, to the crown. So that whole journey is like learning that perfection is love. That you become the entity, but you have to walk in the footsteps, which means you rise up through the chakras, and you evolve over that course of time. You might disappear for a while, and then your heart is on fire, and then it comes back. Then you got to speak out against the church, and then you crown is illuminated because you evolved through the process of learning to truly love for perfection. And then they say Lucifer is Jesus, and they made it evil because all these things are about melanated people and studying the bodies of the melanated people and the processes. But they said that Lucifer is evil, but it's actually a representation. It's another process and this is my theory right now, it's impregnating the woman, or it's like the L is like the love energy. You're penetrating the cup, L-U-C, and you're condensing the intellect of the I to ferment or fertilize her egg, and then the E is to emote or energetically which would be to multiply. The re is the next. The re is like from one, if you re it, that's a 2. So Lucifer is just a process of insemination and birth, or giving somebody your wisdom, like me penetrating her womb and giving her my wisdom. Is the light bearer is like I'm giving her my light, and that is the Lucifer, to Lucy for her. You know what I mean? Lucidity, illumination for her. And they demonize all this stuff, so we are now internally feeling demonic and against ourselves culturally, because the book has scripted it to where we are evil. But it's actually the processes that we naturally embody when it comes to like the spiritual journey of evolution. And then God and the devil, the devil is the bowels when you ate some bad shit. I told my mom when I was a kid, the devil made me do it, and she punished me for that. But in retrospect, I was really talking about whatever they fed me was fucking my stomach up, so I was acting up. As kids, they'd be schizophrenic, they'd be tweaking out, doing all this shit. Check the ingredients on that food. That's the devil when you inhale in the lower parts of your body, and you're very animalistic and like counter to what God's commandments are, which is not necessarily God's commandments, but counter to, like, you're more destructive than benevolent, like live and let live, kind of like, you know what I mean, that overarching filament theme, versus being on the ground level and just fucking shit up. So to a parent, I'm a hellion because I'm acting up, but it's like realistically I just got stomach problems or I ate some shit. And then God is like everything. So within, that's why they say God and the devil is the same, because the devil exists within God when you're not being, your Jesus and Lucifer is kind of off kilter, or like you're not handling that properly. You descend to hell. So the devil's the de-evolution, But God is like perfection of the totality of dominion or the depth, you know what I mean? So it depends on who your God is, whatever, but I think those two things, we need to recalibrate those as we relate to each other, because when you read something and it's accursed, but it's actually representing your processes internally, then you start to kind of like from the inside out resent yourself or rot or participate in inverted activities. And that's why we're in this fucked up state that we're in now. And that's my for today. Shout out to Phil Valentine, Reverend Honorable, you know what I mean, the elder, and the homies for recommending it.